Now is this thing on? Okay, was it my... Aha! It was my headset. So that's good. I'm glad I wasn't cursing. So yeah, sorry I was late. My mom says that I was born 3 days late and never caught up. So that sounds about right. I'm still, like I said, I'm in college for the second time, and I still am late to class constantly. I'm too old to do that, but you know what? I get away with it. All right. And it's not what I'm trying to do is get away with stuff, but whatever. You guys don't care about that kind of stuff. The important part is that I'm also filling in for whatever other Tom calls himself. The American Patriot. However, I don't actually listen to his show, so I'm not going to try to do it in his format. I'm just going to talk, as I usually do, for 2 hours, or at least an hour and 45 minutes, that is to say. So, thank you, Tom. I know it's not a very good thing, right? The reason, but darn, I like to talk. I mean, I'm on the radio, right? I think I know a thing or two about public speaking. And this is as I said, the class I'm taking, public speaking. And I'm not doing that great in it. And you know what? Most of the points I've lost is for speaking too long. Even if it's interesting, I have to get docked for it in class. So, I mean, yeah, I like to talk. I really do. However, right, I don't know, my second show, I did it for 2 hours once because somebody didn't show up. So, this works out all right. I'm kind of reaching here. But at any rate, though, especially if I get boring, especially for, this especially goes for you, Narissa Explains It All. Give me a call, 414-935-2951. I figured out how to use this thing, this call-in line. So, yeah, call in. If you don't like what I got to say, give me something else to talk about. That's cool. I'll go whatever, right? But if I don't like your topic, I'll say you're boring. Whatever, right? I'm just glad that this stupid class is almost done, because I think that I should get extra points for being able to speak longer. But, let's see. Did I talk about... no, because I hadn't gotten it yet. I must have just been thinking of what I would talk about here. But again, if I repeat myself and say something from another episode, then... Because I'm lazy. I don't do homework. Not for anything that isn't graded. But, if I start repeating myself for somebody who's a diehard fan and remembers that I've already told this story or whatever, dial 414-935-2951 and tell me so. Right? Now, it may be one I really like to tell. So, in that case, too bad. I'll tell you so. I'll say no. All right, I want to tell this one again. But there's a good chance that if I've actually forgotten, all right, then I might as well move on. All right, now I'm extra self-conscious keeping watch on this, mainly because of my class, and next subterm I have organizational. Oh, see, here I go with school again. Nobody wants to hear that kind of stuff. Wait a second. Was I taking notes? I think I might have been. I don't know. At any rate, I have a good excuse, right, for being late this time. And it's because, Droopy McGobbler had to take care of somebody that he cares about. And a little bit of care needed to be taken, or was at least nice. And so, yeah, see, I have a heart after all. It grew 3 sizes someday. I don't know. Whatever that was with the Grinch. They used to call me Grouch, right, or Groucho. One group, because I smoked cigars like that were large and obnoxious, almost like Groucho Marx. I almost said Karl Marx. So a bunch of people called me Grouch, Groucho, or Grouchy because of that. And the rest did because I was Grouch. I mean, seriously, by the time I was 23 or 24, I wanted to already be, have a lawn basically so I could yell at kids to get out of it, right? And maybe a berry bush so I can, in a tempting location so I can yell at kids, not to cut through my yard, steal the berries from the bush, etc., etc. Although I do admit that I have taken flowers from public land. Okay, the Humboldt Street median is a man. This bugger. Okay, how about that? Does that? How about that? Oh, now it's the other ear. What? I don't see why I'm getting mono sound, but whatever. Yeah, no, that's better. At any rate, though, I would... What the heck was I talking about? Yelling at kids to get away from my bushes, and skateboarding on the sidewalk, okay, and riding their bikes. I told you guys before that riding your bikes on the sidewalk is illegal. And I will absolutely yell that at people. Hey, especially ones that just like blast past me and seem like they're gonna bowl me over, or they really wanted to and graciously decided not to. Oh yeah, cool. Let me focus on the jowl area and show them I got nothing. At any rate, however, who cares? I lost my note cards for this one speech in class, right? It was a persuasive speech, and it involved the idea of mounting the formidable and venerable Ehrlichon 20mm L70 or L85 autocannon that I've talked about before in a twin mount on a roof turret, right? And getting the licenses and the zoning permits for the turret, and so on and so forth, and made an argument as to why this was a good thing, right? This was a recommended defense weapon in Milwaukee in 2012. But, I made, and if I may complain about school anyway, I made, enough, I think I built enough silliness in there, right? Because among the list of threats, that I said you had to protect against were such things as the Killdozer incident. All right, if you look up Marvin Haymeyer on Wikipedia, all right, a sad thing. Don't get me wrong, but the Killdozer, I mentioned a device called the Killdozer, spoke with a straight face about about that. I think flying cars, with real citations. Don't get me wrong about flying cars. The Haynes, the scaled composites, of course, the urban aerospace, X-Hawk. All right, I don't know if there's anything extreme about it, but whatever. Yeah, Extreme was pretty cool. I think they should bring back Extreme. You know who else was cool? Honestly, I'm not a big World Wrestling fan. Alright, I just kind of use it as the example of something stupid. But the Ultimate Warrior, he was cool. Oh man, I don't know if I could. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know. Because I don't think I can if I just read off a string of numbers and letters. But if you look up the Ultimate Warrior anti-smoking public service announcement, it is awesome. He's got his eyes bugged out and his face painted, and he's yelling, don't deprive yourself of the full power. Be a survivor. Don't smoke. But he starts it out by pulling a whole pack of cigarettes out and going, and like eating them, right? Eating them and spitting them all out on the ground, just chewing them up. Right? And I guess, if you want to be like that, then, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good reference, a pretty good role model to not smoke. I mean, I wish I could behave like that. His name is now Warrior, and his wife, I forget what her name is, Shirley or something, her last name is now Warrior, right? All of them are. So somebody, I don't know if this is correct, referred to him as Warrior, then in quotes as a nickname, the Ultimate Warrior, Warrior. So I don't know. I hope that's right, because that's pretty cool. Like the author Thomas T. Thomas. I'm guessing that the middle T does not stand for Terrence. All right, or Theodore. I know your secret, Thomas. But at any rate, I read one of your books, and I liked it a good bit. All right. But the Ultimate Warrior, I think was pretty cool. Because that was silly without being over-the-top stupid. Right? And this is maybe another incident of me being a grouchy old man, all right, before my time. But I will tell you this. All right. Professional wrestling has become ridiculous. And I don't just mean the soap opera from it. I mean the running out of ideas. All right? And so they brought business intrigue, marriage intrigue, all this kind of stuff. All right? I mean, come on. All right? I was a kid, and I was sneaking World Wrestling without being allowed when I was real small. Then it was Jake the Snake, Sergeant Slaughter, and Yokozuna, and Tatanka, right? And, the original Hulk Hogan. Hell, go back to the original, the even earlier guys. Bruno Sammartino. Way more awesome than anybody who quote-unquote wrestles today. But I think I remember a little while ago, maybe last week, I was talking about world wrestling announcers, right, and using them in presidential campaigns as moderators and such things, and how they should allow negative campaigning for Pope. All right, that would get people involved. That would really get people involved. Or, because I thought about it, and nobody really cares, who's a better mulch carrier among presidential candidates, right? Or some stupid contest like that, like I just proposed. But, all right, they could have to do challenges with ads, like make a negative ad against the other guy featuring a grilled cheese sandwich. Kind of like Iron campaign ad. Right, but have the secret ingredient be something stupid, right? Or someone stupid. You know the old saying, there are no stupid questions, only stupid people. Yeah, I haven't been jowling enough. I haven't been jowling, not practicing, not any of that. Right, I've been too busy with school and all that stuff. But I'll try to put in a little more of that this show. Right, that would behoove me to do so. Right, I mean, since I got another hour and a half left, I know you're all excited. Right, and that's why you should all call 414-935-2951, right, to talk to me. Because I know I'm reaching a couple times, right? Don't turn me off. Give me something else to talk about. What other radio stars can you do that to? Right? And, yeah, even after making, oh, heck. Oh, yeah, even after thinking myself to be some sort of ringer, right, for being a media personality on, in a public speaking class, I still managed to get the worst grade that I've gotten so far. I thought I was going to get a good mark with this speech, and I got a terrible mark, right, last time. So, I don't know, maybe that's somebody trying to teach me humility. But you know what else I think it is? I think it just sucks, and I think it's bullcrap. Let me check my grocery list. No, there's not anything funny on there. Transcribe my enemies list to the master list. My communist list, right, is always under the glass on my desk. Let's see. No, I'm not reading you that one. Let's see, what else don't I like? You know who I'm mad at? The MTA. But I'm always complaining about the MTA. Your MTA, the MCTS, right, or the RCMP, or whatever you call it, because they cut service as, just as I'm starting to need more of it. Right, I'm riding the buses more, having started school and doing other stuff, right? And so what do? They cut service. They get rid of some of my favorite bus lines, like the 11. I like that 11. I resent the MCTS, right, or the BART train, or the tube, whatever you call it around. Well, it's obviously not a train. All right, I can't pretend to be that ignorant. I wish I could impersonate a redneck well, though. I know American Patriot, right, would be on, and he's not a redneck. Don't worry, fellow drooper. I droop with you. I don't jowl against you. All right, I gobble for what you gobble for, and Oh yeah, how about this? Iron caller. Any caller who calls in, okay, can say what they want, pending that they jowl during it. If you say something, right, up to, and then finish your thought without going, right, or, right, jowling or gobbling, then I hang up on you right there. Otherwise, you can say whatever you want as long as you stay away from the forbidden words, right? And, oh, hey, they just taped this to my thing. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't even realize this. A disclaimer must be read at the beginning of each show. Welcome to From the Jowls of Justice. My name is Your Name, and I'm the producer of the... Oh, I get it. My name is Droopy McGobbler, and I'm the producer of this show. The things you will hear over the next... Well, over the previous... let's see... 20 minutes, and the next... hour and 25 minutes represent the views of From the Jowls of Justice and the people making them. All opinions and quotations in no way represent River West Radio and are the sole responsibility of the producer, guests, and callers. River West Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program. There, guys, I read it with jowls, all right, jowls of fairness, all right, jowls of regulatory compliance, all right, or whatever, all right. But I think everybody knows, all right, because I present myself as having been, right, confirmed, right, to and adjudged to be completely sane, right, and as I said before, obviously that sometimes that might imply that at some point that was in question, but so what? All right, those people make the best decisions. Best decisions. See how tired I am? I haven't been sleeping right or any of that. I'm kind of distracted. All right. So please call in and give me something. At any rate, I mean, people doing radio shows and television shows and that sort of thing, the crazier the better, right? But like I said, I have a yellow sheet proving otherwise. And so I would say that if you think that anything I say is crazy, then let me tell you this about that. You're probably right. But hey, you know what? The definition of grandiosity, right, is thinking that in a movie you'd be played by Gary Oldman, when in reality you'd be played by Gary Busey. And the definition of humility is realize, or self-awareness maybe, self-knowledge, is realizing that, right? Maybe I'd even be played by Charlie Sheen. I don't know, he's getting Jowls, right? He's getting them. And I don't know what other bad things he's up to, right? He's never up to anything good. You know, sorry, Chuck, but it's, you know, I call him Chuck. All right, friendly thing. But that's the way it is, right? You're drooping. And you might as well just follow the, Sonny Bono route, right? And really Ronald Reagan and Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? And take those jowls right into politics, right? I mean, you know, so what? So what if you're a nut, right? You could get elected, you know. I want to get elected, at least something. And when they had Open Doors Milwaukee, I went there, right, to Open Doors, and we hardly got to see anything. I went to the top of the U.S. Bank building, the middle finger of Milwaukee, right, and looked over it, on the 42nd floor, whatever it is, okay, looking out over your crummy city. And I'm thinking, I used to work on the 49th floor in New York, and I had a view of Central Park. I mean, I didn't have my own personal office, but we didn't have cubes. We had big, long rows, right? Just big, long tables that were workstations. And we had air-on chairs. Oh, those are awesome. I wish I had $1,000 in my chair budget. I would definitely get one. But at any rate, we made it to City Hall. Didn't get to go up in the Belfry or whatever it was. Right, but we went to the Common Council chamber. And let me blow their secret, okay? Blow the whistle, tell you this right now. The decisions in your county, right, or in your city, that is to say, are made by computer mice painted black with a little red Radio Shack button soldered in there, glued in there, as the voting button. I mean, they're clearly computer mice. They have buttons. They have the hole in the bottom where the trackball goes. All right. They just are running into the floor with wires. I know there are such things as real voting buttons. All right. And other, I'm sure other places have them. But nope. You guys, the city of Milwaukee is so important and doing so well that, yeah, you've got a redneck rigged Common Council chamber. But at any rate, remember how I said contempt of Congress just sounds funny as heck, even though you should never ever do it? Okay? Turns out that when I went to this thing, right, people were going up, okay, behind the desk, right, behind the podium and lectern, and getting their picture taken. Okay? So I wanted to touch the gavel. I knew I was going to get yelled at, right? But I wanted to bang it just once. And so I went in there, right, into the chamber, and I saw a couple people go and stand behind the thing and get the picture taken. And I walked up, and I plopped in the speaker's chair, and I picked up the gavel, and I said, bam! And the cop there didn't even say, hey, you can't touch the gavel. Said, oh, no, you got to get up. You can't touch the chair. You can't sit in the chair. All right, that's reserved for the personal business of the Speaker of the Common Council, blah, blah, blah. So really, I violated I got to even though it was not in session, so I didn't disrupt it. I breached the protocols, right, of a legislative assembly, of a deliberative assembly, right, and that's pretty cool. Because people had been doing that all day, I'm sure. Right, my sister was really embarrassed. She said, "Oh my God, that's so embarrassing. I can't believe you did that." Right, and she had to tell him. And don't sit down in the chair is kind of an odd thing. Okay, I don't know how this stuff works. Right, I'll never get elected, but whatever. It is what it is. I'll just get myself appointed, or failing that, be corrupt. Oh yeah. Heck, half of the reason I like Nixon is because he was a crook. Man, this coffee is on sale at Pick and Save. I don't know if there's any more left. It's by Veranto or whoever, Versanto, right? And it is called Hyper X Force 3 Premium High Octane. And and it's got 3 times the caffeine of normal coffee. 3 times, because there's guarana seed extract in there too, and it's better. It's good coffee, right? It's better than the Hills Brothers Overdrive that was also on sale. But this stuff was 50% off. All right, heck, I wish I could smoke a cigarette. I wonder if I have my electric on me. Ooh, yeah. Always be prepared. That's what I say. Right? Electric cigarette. Ooh, yeah. I wish I could quit regular smoking. Excuse me. I started smoking a pipe again. Right? Which, may look like an affectation, but quite honestly, right? I've smoked cigars since I was 15. I didn't start cigarettes till I was already in college. Right? I smoked a pipe since I was probably about 17. A regular tobacco pipe, a briar pipe, right? With, some good tobacco, when I could afford it, some Dunhill or whatever. And a lot of, if I had to go cheap, Prince Albert. And a lot of Captain Black, various Captain Blacks. And, so I've been smoking a pipe again, and it cuts down on my cigarette usage. It really does. I don't want to overdo it to the point where it becomes offensive to everybody around me, just puff on the thing vehemently. But honestly, I just like it. I just like the taste, and I like the action of it. And so that can help me start to get off cigarettes, right? Because cigarettes just suck, right? Like I said, all you have to say is, kids, never start smoking cigarettes, because if you do, you will want them, whether you quit or not, every day for the rest of your life. All right, might as well stay away. Okay, that's enough negativity out of me. All right. It's the sun. The sun is making me so tired, I think. I don't get it. Because I sometimes, I'll get a farmer's tan to some extent, but I probably walk most days over 7 miles a day. I walk everywhere I can, and, unless I have to ride the bus and complain about it. Today, listen to this. There was a bus coming. I had to get, somebody to the hospital, right? And we thought we missed a bus, and we're starting to walk, right? Or we thought the bus wasn't going to be there, the next one, for 20 more minutes. And then I saw the bus we needed coming. So I sprinted. A block and a half, long blocks, not short blocks, right, to catch up with that bus, right? Actually caught up with it, right, barefoot, right? I threw my sandals on when the driver told me to, and I said, "Man, can you hold on a second? I gotta get somebody to the hospital," right? And he was obnoxious to me. You gotta help somebody get to the hospital, right? So what I did, all right, was I stood half in and half out of the bus, right, and argued. Right, I moved to get off the bus, so I wasn't, doing disorderly conduct or, nothing. I'm not going to threaten a bus driver or any of that, because he definitely can go to jail and even prison for that. But heck no, right? I was arguing with him, being real obnoxious and bellicose until she got to the bus. And then I made sure she got on, and I got off the bus and gave a nasty gesture and some yelling and left. And so really I got what I wanted by further antagonizing the guy. So hey, remember that lesson. Let's see. What else have I got? I don't know. My thinking is just real slow. I think I've been burning up my brain. You know, the last, this is only a 5-week class. And the last, whatchamacallit, the last session is tomorrow. Right. And this gets me, whatchamacallit, this is my final speech. It's a group presentation. The group is gonna, you know, we each take a role, and they made up an award to present me, and they're gonna give the introductory, right, and background speeches, and I'm gonna give the acceptance speech. And they, came up with an award for being the best at surviving night school at MSOE. Right. So I'm going to go up there, right, with a vest on, with my camouflage fishing vest, with all the pockets and clips and all that kind of stuff. And just have it full of, you know, stuff like pencils, right, a screwdriver, you know, the obligatory duct tape, electrical tape, right, and just some ringers, some weird things, you know, vernier calipers, right, homework with a, you know, something to make a dog. Well, let's see. Yeah, dog biscuits. Right, I'm gonna all this stuff in my vest. Yeah, dog biscuits. So you can either attract them to homework or keep them away from homework that you actually did. So, you know, a big file like a Rolodex of excuses. All right. I told, geez, I hope my professor isn't listening, because let me tell you this one. All right. I was running, you know, instead of my usual few minutes late that I get away with, right, I was running 30 minutes late to class. So I got there, all right, and I came up with this. I had forever. I was walking. I had from here to MSOE, that's 2 miles. I had forever to come up with an excuse, right? Because my printer doesn't work anymore. Being a tech guy, I used to be able to make up technical excuses. But you can't really do that anymore. Teachers and instructors and professors know about computers now. I told somebody back in like 12th grade that my primary DNS server, you know, broke the Hive cluster, just some random stuff. And, you know, I got away with it. Right? Printers are always broken. Now, Hewlett-Packards are always broken, but that's beside the point. Great printers, but very persnickety. At any rate, though, so my excuse was that I almost got a littering ticket while walking, right, to school. Almost got a littering ticket while walking to school, because, you know, I said, yeah, you know, I almost got this ticket. You know, I was walking along, and I was mad that I was already running about 5 minutes late. See, I had to tell part of the truth there, right? I was already running about 5 minutes late, and I was mad, so I threw down an empty cigarette pack and a soda bottle on the ground. Right? And the cop who was behind me that I didn't know just woo, and I stopped there, and I had to stop, you know, and talk him out of giving me a littering ticket, so on and so forth. And right, this never happened, obviously, but and I don't think he cared what my excuse was. I don't even think he cared if I gave one. But I had to sound at least, reasonable. Right, I had to sound like I had some excuse. So maybe he just gave me an A for effort, or maybe he bought it entirely. I don't know. Apparently I'm pretty persuasive. Like I said, I persuaded a bunch of people that I was serious about the first drive-by strafing occurring, or fly-by strafing being committed as a crime, the first crime committed from a flying car by 2022. Maybe so. But that doesn't mean I need an anti-aircraft cannon. It doesn't mean that that's why I want one. I want one because it's cool, right? But I'm not actually trying to... Well, at any rate, I'm going to stop complaining. But let me tell you this before I take my break, before I start covering for other Tom. I forgot about the time when now remember my description of the Columbia Gate. All right, I went to Yale a few years ago to visit one of my friends there. And what you get when you go to the main entrance to the Yale campus is, a giant gate, another one, this one 45 feet high with huge bulldog heads where door knockers would be, a giant height with giant jowls. Maybe the bulldog heads are about 35 feet up and the jowls are fully 4 feet drooping. And they're looking outwards into the distance, guarding the school. And there, right, you have to put on a funny hat, right, to represent something in the school's history, I forget, and go up to, instead of a gong, right, this one's a huge bell. And you take your mallet, right, that's made of blackthorn wood, it must be, and you must bring your own mallet, right, you can buy them at the Yale bookstore, which is one of the paradoxes that you have to figure out for admission to Yale, that how are you going to get the books to the bookstore without your mallet to ring the bell to get into the campus? So once you figure that out, right, you've got your mallet. And so but you can't just sneak in, right, around the guardhouse, because then the giant bulldog heads will come to life, right, and so will and they'll bark, right, in their eerie, supernatural, monstrous way, and that will awaken the huge dog sphinxes, right, canine sphinxes instead of feline, that are on either side of the gates. But at any rate, you take your blackthorn mallet, right, staff with a big knob, kind of like a shillelagh, except that's not what a real shillelagh is. But at any rate, and then you strike the bell 3 times, bong, 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 and in your 3-foot tall funny hat, right, you approach the gate, and the guard, right, the sentinel they call him, takes off his funny hat, right, so it's a little bit in reverse of some of the other schools, and he inquires, "What do you think of Harvard?" And you must say, "They really suck." And he says, "A mere test of your loyalty, and you speak well and true." And you say, "Yeah, they really, really do suck, though." And then he opens the gate. All right. I'm not going to tell you how to get into the Harvard gate, because who wants to go there anyway? But I guess it's 5:55, so I'm going to wrap up this and take my break. All right, take a 5-minute break, and then come back and start covering for American Patriot. And I'll write down, speaking of American Patriot, Alexander Hamilton. All right, I'll tell you what he did to Princeton. That's awesome. So at any rate, don't forget that I'm the one who put the Tom and Tomfoolery and digitally inserted Jabba the Hutt into the first Star Wars movie for the re-release. Go to the bathroom, smoke a cigarette, do whatever you gotta do, quit smoking because it's bad for you, and I'll be back in 5. Until then, united we jowl.